Hey Nat, I told people that we'd start around 4:35, 4:40. If you want to start earlier, just let me know.
嗯，係啊，你冇呢個唔係嗰個啊嘛。嗯
All right, so there's about 14 people in the room. Nat, did you want me to start at 4:35 or do you want to wait a little bit longer?
Hi, Jason. Yeah, please. I think we can start now. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Happy Friday. So this is a continuation of where we left off last time. Now, last time the focus was primarily on PFPs, profile pictures. This time we'll be going over the different types of NFTs. So there'll be more of an emphasis on things like POAPs. You heard me mention SBTs last time, soulbound tokens as well. A little bit about NFTs in terms of static versus dynamic NFTs. Last time we looked at the different types of contracts that would be used, for example, ERC 721 and 1155. This time we're going to take a look at, like I said, static versus dynamic NFTs, soulbound tokens, POAPs, all these like general terms that will help you get more familiarized with the landscape. So there's going to be a little bit of overlap from last time, especially at the very beginning. I do apologize about that. I'm not sure who attended and didn't attend from last session, so I didn't want to just assume. So when I went ahead and did this, I just assumed that everyone would be fresh, right? So there you might recognize a couple of overlapped portions. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into this. Of course, if the talk is about NFTs, what does NFT stand for, right? So by definition, NFT stands for non-fungible token. And the reason why they're called non-fungible is when an asset is fungible, this means it's completely replaceable by another identical asset. So for example, the next Ethereum token looks exactly like the next Ethereum token. They all look the same. Thus, they have no distinction in value between the two assets, right? And the best way to show this off would be fiat currencies. So, for example, the euro or pound sharing a company are deemed to be fungible assets because each unit of currency share can be exchanged for another identical unit. So 5 euros is worth 5 euros, right? NFTs are quite different, hence non-fungible tokens, as opposed to their cousins that are ERC20 tokens. So over here, non-fungible tokens, non-fungibility, on the other hand, is a term used to describe assets in which there's only one of these assets in existence, thus eliminating the possibility that it can be replaced by an identical item. So in the later versions of the slide, we're gonna take a look at the different NFTs that exist out there. There's more and more that appear, well, not relatively less commonly nowadays, but before they would appear gradually. Currently, there are 8. So you have like music NFTs, PFPs, one-of-ones, and one-of-ones are more artistic-based NFTs. As you see on the left, this is a picture by Beeple. This piece was called 5,000 Days, and in 2021, it sold for 69 million. I think I went over this last time, right? So that's more of a one-of-one. There are names to suggest that NFTs are tokens on the blockchain, similar to their fungible counterparts, but differ due to the fact that there's only one in existence. Now, you might ask for, let's say, Bored Ape, right? They claim that they're unique 10,000 pieces. Well, in fact, they are unique because of the fact that no two apes are exactly the same in terms of different traits. So traits, you can go on OpenSea and you can take a look for yourselves. They're categorized under different headings like background, head, torso, and there is no single ape that is exactly 100% identical. Of course, you'll get some that are very similar to one another, but no two apes exist for a collection, right? One-of-one's very different. There's only one piece, right? Yeah, so very high level, like I said, a little bit of overlap from last time. What I do want to bring up this time as well is a couple of historic sales for NFTs. Quantum, an octo-shaped animation by New York artist Kevin McCoy, is considered the first NFT to be ever sold, and it sold for a whopping 1.4 million in November 2012, which is a very long time ago, and for such an asset to sell for so much at that time is remarkable, right? Usually in crypto, a lot of emphasis is put on OG, original, OG stands for original gangster, but in this case, like people who have been in the space for a long time, the first collection to do what. So for example, last time we talked heavily about CryptoPunks being an OG collection because they were one of the first ones in the space to launch this type of collection, right? So being first to market does play a key factor in this, in Web3, and you can see it from a lot of these artists, right? Another reason why I bring up Beeple is because last Friday, as you guys know, Beeple was in town. He was in Hong Kong. He was at M+, and he was here to show off his new work. And I'm a bit ashamed that I forgot the name. I think it's like MetaHuman 1, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And it changes based on where the asset is, right? And you guys are going to see a little bit. That is what is a dynamic NFT versus something like a static NFT. A lot of terms today, just because I do want to that like NFTs is a topic, and crypto and Web3 is still wide topic that it's very hard to find middle ground where everyone's comfortable with. So I thought that it'd be best to start from the ground up, cover terminology, cover macro overviews of certain topics, and then move from there if you guys have any further questions later on, right? So over here are some examples of how NFTs are used today, and they're not limited to just these NFTs. Apologies for the icons that are being used. Obviously, my PowerPoint got a little bit jumbled up when I uploaded it to this beautiful AI platform. So you have unique digital art, music, that's a very big emerging one. sporting moments in video format. You'll see more and more of these NFTs appear, especially iconic moments. I wanted to shill Dotted a little bit. Dotted, the platform, the company that I work for, supports MP4, MP3, sound, music. So all of this is visible from within the app, which is something that not all of our competitors have. A lot of them, the NFTs break down, they don't show up, right? So it's a very seamless experience that Dotted can support this formatting as well. Event tickets, something that I will follow up and speak a little bit more on afterwards. Trading cards, of course, trading cards, NBA Top Shop, that's through the Tezos blockchain. No, sorry, that's Dapper Labs. That's the Flow blockchain. My apologies. That's Flow. Tezos is more art related. Membership cards. That's a really cool one. I'll go into that a little bit. A project that we will potentially be working on. Digital identity. I spoke about that last time. That has to do more with PFPs, profile pictures. Digital wearables in the metaverse. That was the whole craze last year with all these companies coming in to go ahead and buy land and then create collections with collaborations with other parties where your avatar could have these digital assets. They were NFTs, they are NFTs, but you could also wear them in the metaverse, right? And last but not least, in-game assets like skins and weapons that we over here at Dotted were a big believer of, because they will actually bring in the next wave of users into the Web3 space, right? First you had crypto, then you had DeFi from the finance guys with DeFi Summer. And then the next wave, the next iteration is going to be through GameFi, because a lot of the players, a lot of these kids, they're already used to it through skins, right? So for them, they get it, they get the technology, and to be able to own your own asset without a central authority switching things up the next day is something that they're all keen to pursue, right? They just got to work out the proper tokenomics. The game needs to make sense. It has to be a good game, and it shouldn't be tokenomics focus first, profit first, game second. It should be game first. If you can make some money, that'll be great, right? So that should be the strategy of GameFi moving forward. Okay, let's jump to the next section over here. As I said before, today we're gonna take a look at the types of NFTs that are present. We're gonna start with and by all means, there's different ones here. We're just taking a look at the most general ones out there so that you guys can recognize them when you see them, have a bit more knowledge about the NFT space. So we have static and dynamic NFTs, we have POAPs, and we have soul-bound tokens, also known as SBTs. This might sound like, oh, wow, there's a lot of terms here. It's really not. They're all NFTs, and they all serve a different purpose, and some of them are quite easy to remember. So POAP stands for Proof of Attendance Protocol. So just in that name, you can already tell that it's a badge to certify that you attended a certain event, right? Soul-bound token, well, if it's soul-bound, if you play any video games, you know that it can't be transferred. So essentially, these are all things that, like, it's just common knowledge. Don't see it as something that it's, oh, wow, this is so overwhelming. It's not. It uses a lot of common sense to where they get their ideas from, right? So without further ado over here. So what are static NFTs? As the name suggests, static, they don't move, right? So the most common NFT use case is in digital art. An artist mints a token representing a digital artwork, and a collector can purchase this token, right? Now, this is not to say that all digital art is static. At the digital art fair, an artist named Jackie Tsai utilized dynamic NFTs, where he would go ahead and feed in data, and his artwork would reflect a change based on the data that was being presented. So back onto here, once NFTs are minted, their token IDs never change. Every NFT can be differentiated through one of one token IDs, and it's unique to the contract address. We spoke a little bit about smart contracts last time. From there, metadata such as images, video files, and other data can be attached. Static NFTs play an important part where the metadata is, like an artist's artwork needs to stay consistent and verifiable as the original, right? So a little bit about static NFTs and why they are important. Now, on to dynamic NFTs. This is the future of NFTs. Not saying that static NFTs are going to be completely replaced, but as we move forward, people are going to want more and more. And so dynamic NFTs fit in things like games, right? Use cases such as video games, where an in-game asset need to evolve based on the user interactions, tokenized real-world assets where real-world characteristics change, all right? So what does that mean? So on your right, there's what you see is a couple of digital assets. These are NFTs, and they're for a GameFi project called Ice Poker, launched by Decentral Games. And what you can do is these NFTs are a wearable NFT. So you go into the metaverse, and what they allow you to do is they allow you to play the Ice Poker game, where afterwards you can go ahead and trade these tokens for other cryptocurrencies like stable coins, and then off ramp from there, right? So it was part of the play to earn model, play to win model, play to earn model that unfortunately is not sustainable in a bear market. In terms of why these NFTs had to be dynamic, you'll see that they're all different colors. The different colors represent the different levels. So with a higher level asset, you receive more winnings when you do win, right? So that was the gimmick. That was why you had to upgrade these NFTs. But they're dynamic. Whenever you level up these assets, you have to burn the previous one. The last one burning means the previous one is destroyed and a new one is generated, right? So these dynamic NFTs are called DNFTs, offer the best of both worlds, with NFTs retaining their unique identifiers while also being able to update aspects of their metadata. So that's very important for a GameFi-based project. That's why if GameFi is the trend moving forward, then therefore, logically speaking, dynamic NFTs should be the future moving forward, right? So once again, like I said, it's very straightforward in terms of the direction sometimes where the industry will go. Next, another example of not just how GameFi projects can be dynamic NFTs for what Bored Ape did with the Mutant Ape series. So for those of you who don't remember, last time I touched upon this, BAYC, one of the blue chip collections, started off as a 10,000 NFT collection. And then the second collection to launch after that was called MAYC, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, in which all BAYC holders were given a serum and they could mutate their apes. A mutated ape in total, the MAYC collection was 20,000, right? And then in the picture you see up top is an ape, the very top, right over here is an ape. Then after that, you have the serum. I believe that there was 3 different types of serum in existence at the time. I am still not a BAYC holder, so I cannot confirm that. Yeah, I know there was multiple variations of the serum and they were of different rarities. So BAYC dropped a set of NFTs for BAYC owners and called it the Serum. The idea was to create a new Bored Ape mutant based on the unique traits of BAYC held by the owners in their wallets, right? So this wasn't just like you get a serum and you get some random ape. The serum actually took into effect the traits and qualities that your original ape had and would generate a new ape based on these traits and qualities. So something that's pretty cool in the space and pretty unique. So to ensure that you're not going to have repeats of the same ape, right? Because NFTs have to be unique. The smart contract then interacted with the traits of the original BAYC and delivered a brand new mutant ape to the BAYC holder. Every mutant was unique and as it was created based on unique traits of the BAYC held in the wallet. Dynamic NFTs can be triggered by on-chain or off-chain events and open new possibilities and use cases for NFTs. So another very famous one, I forget the name of the company, but I know they work with Chainlink because I was talking to them. And it's an NFT that I think it's NBA's NFT. It reflects the athletes' score and rankings, so it updates accordingly. I can get the name afterwards, but it does use DNFT technology. It pulls metadata from different points and then updates the image accordingly. right? So some pretty cool stuff that that can be done with NFTs, especially dynamic NFTs. The reason why they're working with a company called Chainlink is because Chainlink offers incredible response times and security for this type of matter. Yeah. So that's a little bit about static NFTs and dynamic NFTs. Okay, next over here we have POAPs, right? When I first encountered POAPs, I was quite confused, but I mean, after thinking about it a little while, it's fairly straightforward. Proof of attendance protocol, like I said before, it proves that you were in attendance, right? And I'll get into a little bit why I think these POAPs should be SBTs, but I mean, this is a question that has been discussed quite often. So POAPs are, what are they? They're digital mementos used to commemorate a moment. They're minted to preserve and celebrate life's remarkable moments. The POAP NFT was initially introduced during ETH Denver, one of the OG conferences that have been in the space, the largest Web3 build-a-thon in the world. POAPs are minted through smart contracts as NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain. They can be also minted on the Polygon blockchain and essentially any chain. I believe that there's a company called Galaxy Digital that what they do is they allow users to mint what they call OATs, on-chain activity tokens, exactly the same thing as a POAP, and they can do it on the BSN network, that's Binance's network. They can do it on Avalanche. They can do it on Solana. It's really up to you. Next question might be, oh, so Jason, what's the difference between the different chains, right? So the different chains operate, they offer different benefits, security, speed. So Ethereum is seen as the gold standard, but unfortunately Ethereum is very costly, especially when there's a lot of traffic on the Ethereum network. Polygon solves this by being a layer 2 or side chain that alleviates a lot of the gas transactions. That's why it's a lot cheaper to mint on Polygon, for example, right? Avalanche, Binance, they as well offer different perks and incentives. So back to proof of attendance protocols, POAPs, they can be minted on virtually any chain, and they're essentially badges, they're stickers to commemorate, like I said here, a moment that, oh yes, I attended, right? It's more for shilling purposes, but what you can do with POAPs is eventually they can lead to utility. For example, if you wanted to mint another collection, right? You have all these attendees at ETH Denver, you want to reward them. You're a founder of a very special project. So what you could do is you can whitelist all the wallets that have this POAP, this 2017 OG ETH Denver POAP would be automatically waitlisted to mint your new NFT, for example, right? So immediate utility given to that POAP NFT. Just because it's a POAP doesn't mean that it's worthless, right? It's just a badge, more or less like a sticker, pretty much, right? So for POAPs, they can be sold, they can be traded, which I sort of have an issue with, but then again, if you think of a POAP like a sticker or a badge, why not, right? But it sort of defeats the purpose when you want to use a POAP to prove that you've really attended that event. Now, that can be all possible because on the blockchain, you can see all the activity, where the POAP was minted, where that wallet came from, and you can do some due diligence to backtrack and make sure, authenticate that this person is in fact the holder, the person who minted this POAP, right? Because everything in the blockchain is open on a permissionless one, right? But obviously that takes a lot of time to do. The solution to that is the next one over here. Well, let me go over this. I was going to go over the soul-bound tokens, but POAPs can be used for different attendances. For example, seminars, conferences, sporting events, launch events, training sessions, talks, in-game milestones, like I said before. So on the right is a POAP that we did for MetaGood. It was a ESG type event, and I believe they sold off this piece of art, and it was certified carbon neutral in the sense that They donated some money to Carbon Base, and they got some credits for it, and then sold this piece of art and then donated to the funds, right? So this was certified as ESG, and we went ahead and created a POAP for the event to commemorate things. Okay, so as I was saying before, I wanted to go into SVTs, but I guess there's a little bit over here that I should discuss. So key takeaways, right? So what are POAPs used for? So POAPs can be issued for virtual or in real life events. POAPs allow event organizers to better engage with their audiences by providing a customized experience. Post-event organizers and brands can continue to engage with the audience by way of special offers, privileges, and invitations, and build their community of fans and followers. Now, this is something that Dotted is able to do very, very well because of the fact that we're a messaging platform on top of the many things that we are. We're able to deliver I hate using the term, a one-stop shop where everything is under one roof. And for example, companies can go ahead and contact the holders of this POAP directly through the app without having to jump through different parties, jump through different places. On top of that, you're able to mint directly on Dotted as well. So there's absolutely no need to use third-party technology. Everything can be done on Dotted when it comes to POAP, when it comes to customer retention, customer engagement. So effectively, it's like a CRM, right? And the POAP is is what enables all this to happen. POAPs may be delivered to the attendees by way of scanning QR codes that are made available at the venue by clicking mark images in the metaverse, for example. The POAP NFTs are then delivered directly into the collector's wallet at no cost. And what we've also devised here at Dotted is what we call a gasless mint. I think I explained it a little bit last time. For those of you who had the chance of claiming the beautiful waifus, you got to experience the gasless mint, which just so you guys know, a gasless mint is not possible on Ethereum or Polygon because a gas needs to be paid to validate a transaction. But what Dotted has done is on the back end, another wallet pays for the gas, right? So we call it gasless mint, but in fact, you guys know that's not possible. The reason why we do that is, for example, our target audience would be someone like my mother, who it might not be interested in Bored Apes, but she's definitely interested in like Starbucks NFTs, for example. So to give her a solution where she can easily create a wallet in under 90 seconds with a email, phone number, and then be able to mint this said NFT without having to on-ramp is something that makes her life a lot easier so that she can claim the NFT and then start focusing on the utility aspect instead of, oh my God, how do I set up this wallet? Oh my God, how do I add gas? How do I even do this? By the time that she's figured that out, I mean, she wouldn't be interested in getting that NFT anyways because it's been so complicated, right? So Dotted is all about simplifying solutions that will lead to mass market adoption. All right, so that was a mouthful. SBTs, soulbound tokens, what are they? So soulbound tokens are non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, that cannot be transferred, as I said before, right? So what good are SBTs? Well, SBTs are great for something like things that shouldn't be sold, like transcripts, like degrees, for example, medical files, insurance files, right? So these are things that SBTs can solve, and they utilize the best of blockchain technology to effectively prove someone's digital identity through these badges and these tokens, right? Now, as you guys can already imagine, SBTs are not without faults. For example, what happens if your wallet is compromised, right? For a custodial wallet, for those of you who remember from last time, a custodial wallet is a wallet that is not effectively really yours. It's someone else holds the keys. The benefit for that is that if you lose your password, well, that third party can go ahead and recover it for you. A self-custodized wallet, if you lose your keys, well, good luck, you've also lost your assets as well, right? So in terms of SBTs, if a wallet is compromised, then what happens, right? Because they're soul-bound, they can't be transferred. Now, SBTs are a concept that aren't plan to come fully into effect just yet. The idea is for them to come in 2024, but I mean, with Vitalik, these things can sort of be delayed, right? So the idea for SBT management would be essentially like sort of how WeChat does it nowadays, where two pre-approved wallets must get together to prove that you are in fact the person to recover the SBTs so that they're transferred to a new wallet. Like I said, very, very early stages of this type of technology, but you guys can see how utilizing them for identification, using them for records could be beneficial in the long run, especially if we could incorporate blockchain technology with all of that, right? Another danger that I forgot to mention with SBTs is because of the nature of permissionless blockchains, and because they're visible, it could lead to targeting of like I like to use religious groups, for example. If you attended like a religious conference and they issued an SBT, and then someone else went in, saw that you had this new wallet, they could potentially assume that you're part of this religious organization and then start attacking you or doing bad things, right? This is all hypothetical. It's just saying that SBTs we're still very far from adopting SBT technology, and of course, very, very far from mass adoption of SBT technology, right? So over here, just a quick recap, there are some downsides to SBTs as well. SBTs can be used by bad actors to identify, target, and harm members of specific communities. Governments and institutions could deny certain services and rights, or even target certain communities by denying travel permits. Does that sound familiar? Little bit. Medical care, voting rights, or other benefits that would be otherwise be available, right? So SBT technology right there. So a little quick recap. We took a look at dynamic static NFTs, POAPs, and just right now we took a look at SBT soulbound tokens. Does anyone have any questions before I go ahead and continue with the rest of this presentation? Okay, cool. So over here, NFTs can be classified into 8 different categories, right? You have one of one art, like I said, Beeple's Every Days, the first 5,000 days. Then you have PFP avatars, which we talked about last week, mostly on the blue chip PFPs. So in case you guys didn't remember, you had the Bored Apes, you had Doodles, you had Azukis, you had Mutant Apes, all the derivatives, Meebits as well. Generative art, so randomly generated digital art. The waifus, for those of you who claim them, fall in that category. Collectibles, trading cards like NBA Top Shop on the Flow network. Photography, tokenized assets. I'm a big fan of this one. Gives photographers more spotlight to go ahead and be found, and another way to monetize. Music, very excited about this one. I join a lot of music-based AMAs. It's also the vertical I know the least about, but I'm very passionate about finding out more. I used to be with NFT ticketing. I still am very passionate about NFT ticketing, but I've gotten a lot of my answers. But with music NFTs, I'm still exploring that. Gaming NFTs, in-game assets, been a huge fan of that for a long time. And virtual lands in the metaverse, right? So feel free to take screenshots of this. I can also get a copy of this over to Nat later on, and you guys will all have access to this PowerPoint. Okay, so just quickly, high level, we're going to take a look at some of the ecosystems that exist in the NFT space. By all means, there's a lot more of these that exist. This was just taken as a quick macro overview. So gaming studios, of course, the most famous one, Dapper Labs, based out of Vancouver. They're behind CryptoKitties. They're also behind NBA Top Shop, which is a big one. Also Animoca Brands invested portfolio company. Your marketplaces, of course, you have OpenSea, or Broken Sea, as I like to refer to it, Rarible. Marketplaces are a dime a dozen, and there's a lot of them, right? That's primarily why when Dotted was conceptualized, being a marketplace was definitely not something that we wanted to be a part of. Collectibles, DeFi NFT. So DeFi NFT is what's known as NFTFi. There's also a company called NFTFi. So things like BendDAO, for example, where P2P lending, where you can go ahead and collateralize your NFT for ERC20 tokens. So peer-to-peer lending. That's on BendDAO. NFTFi has a more degen approach where BendDAO only approves 5 collections. I believe they're all blue chips. They are all blue chips. I just forget the names of the collection. NFTFi, if you have any NFT, you can put it up as collateral. If someone's willing to lend you the tokens for it, that they can make that happen, right? So that's what NFTFi is. You can secure loans. You can so through another company called Tribe3, there's futures for NFTs as well. So there's some very innovative products being curated around NFTs, right? And of course, games, a very big one, Axie Infinity, NBA Top Shop, CryptoKitties. VR, you have Sandbox, Upland, and domains, you've got ENS, Unstoppable Domains. I was asked a question the other day. So the difference between ENS and Unstoppable Domains, well, ENS is .eth, right? So .eth will always be the gold standard. Unstoppable Domains, you get funny ones like .crypto, .blockchain that I personally have not used Unstoppable Domains, but if it's anything like ENS, what you could do is once you get that domain, you could link it to your wallet. So effectively, when anyone searches for you on a marketplace, for example, that supports ENS or supports Unstoppable Domains, they don't need to remember your wallet address, which is a very complicated thing, but instead can just type in your ENS. So for example, mine is jhk.eth. So jhk.eth is a lot easier to remember than OX74579 and so on and so forth, right? So that's why ENSs and Unstoppable Domains are so powerful. So a little high-level macro overview on the NFT ecosystem. Now, okay, so to the main point over here, NFTs as tickets and why I'm super bullish on this. So NFT tickets, are they the future? The ticketing world is poised to see significant adoption of NFTs in the future with the capability of minimalizing the real issues of ticket fraud, fake tickets, and facilitate event organizers and promoters by lowering distribution and other upfront costs of event tickets, right? So I forget the exact stat, but every year, of course, the end user is the ultimate loser of this, especially when someone buys a counterfeit ticket. It's not obviously when they get to the door, it's discovered, the venue doesn't honor the ticket, the client is mad, the venue loses they don't lose face, but I mean, like the customer certainly isn't happy, right? So it's a lose-lose for everyone but the fraudster, right? With NFTs as tickets, because of the nature of blockchain, it becomes near impossible to fake this type of ticket, right? What could happen is what you see on OpenSea, where people make fake collections, right? But this is why tools like Dotted are so necessary, because in the Dotted platform, we've taken the steps to ensure that newbies coming in, they're protected with things like verified check marks, for example. Everything is done within the app. So for example, if a certain vendor partnered with Dotted to issue the tickets, then the person could communicate directly with the vendor. So things like that Dotted has done and set up live already to minimize the damage done by these fake scams, right? So blockchain technology does solve scams, but currently, as it stands, because of the way OpenSea is set up, scams can still occur, right? That's all I'm trying to say. But because blockchain technology is near impossible or impossible to forge, these tickets, a counterfeit ticket should not exist. And if it's purchased, well, that lies with human fault, right? Museums are a perfect use case for such a scenario, whereby tickets can be tokenized and sold to customers digitally. Another benefit of digitizing a ticket and using NFTs as tickets is right now on the secondary market, every single time this ticket is sold by scalpers, the issuing party is not rewarded. They don't monetize from this, right? And oftentimes the biggest difference in VIG is from the scalpers when they purchase the ticket from primary sales and then sell it on the secondary market. There's a massive profit margin that can be made. When you have NFT tickets, provided that your royalties are respected, what you can do is you can have royalties of the secondary sales that are perpetual, and effectively the issuing party will always monetize from that, right? So that money could be used to further develop the brand. It could be used to give back to the community, for example. Like, there's a lot that can be done with this money that benefits the issuer and the buyer, and pushes out the scalper, right? So that's why I'm a big believer of NFT tickets on that level. And you'll see in a little bit, NFT as tickets you can also use it as a CRM. You can use it as a membership platform, and in the future, as we believe at Dotted, everything is going to be connected. It's going to be omni-chain, for example, right? So NFTs as tickets, and NFT as a ticket on Avalanche will be interoperable with something on Ethereum in the future. So with that being said, NFTs as tickets makes a lot of sense. So how does it work? This can prove to be highly beneficial in preventing occurrences of fake tickets and scams. I think I went through this already. Moreover, NFTs can create community clubs with NFT holders, benefiting from exclusive access to events, persons or experiences. Now, there's a few prominent festivals that have already been doing this. Unfortunately, they did it on FTX. One of these music festivals is Coachella, right? Where they didn't sell tickets, but what they did was they went ahead and sold membership keys for a very large amount of money. And a membership key is different from tickets, but ultimately both concepts can be incorporated by the organizing party and utilize the blockchain technology. So let me go ahead and go over this really quickly. NFTs have been used in a variety of industries, including art, collectibles, and now tickets. NFT tickets offer a new way for organizers to sell and distribute tickets. Let's not forget that, while also providing buyers with unique, verifiable ownership of their tickets. A lot of times, these ticket vendors have to go through things like Ticketmaster, Eventbrite, more Ticketmaster. These companies take significant portions of the commission, right? All that can be avoided if you switch over to NFT ticketing and use a separate platform that either doesn't charge, or they take a very small cut, right? The payment processor is another big thing that is an issue for a lot of these concert holders, event holders. And by using crypto as a form of payment, you can avoid all of this, a lot of this unnecessary cost. Benefits of NFT tickets. Increased security, as I said before, on the blockchain. With NFT tickets, there is no risk or fraud or counterfeiting. Increased convenience. This has to do with more of the sale side, as was mentioned before. NFT tickets can be easily transferred and resold, eliminating the need for physical ticket distribution. And lastly, increased value. NFT tickets may have added value due to their uniqueness and the fact that they can be collected and traded. So this is more post-event. So for example, NFT stub that you receive by going to Coachella automatically gives you 15% off on your future redemption, 30% off on any food vouchers that are pre-purchased before the actual event, right? Something that's very possible that can be done to drive sales, can be done through NFT technology, and it would be harder to do through without the use of blockchain technology, right? So not trying to make up problems here, really identifying existing problems and how to add to the benefits of using blockchain technology for something like NFT ticketing. Now, this is not without limitations, right? There's obviously a reason why we haven't seen mass adoption of NFT tickets. For example, limited adoption. While NFTs have gained some traction in certain industries, they are still relatively new concept, not to mention that there's a lot of stigma associated with the word NFT. Moving forward, we might see them being addressed as digital collectibles, just like how the term ICO is no longer used, it's TGE, right? But the underlying technology remains the same. Technical barriers. Some users may be intimidated by the technical aspect of NFTs, which is where Dotted comes in. We're really trying to make things as seamless as possible so that someone like my mother would be able to easily acquire her first NFT. Regulatory challenges or concerns, obviously, as with any new technology, there may be regulatory challenges to overcome in order to facilitate the use of NFT tickets. And of course, right now, unfortunately, with the latest that has happened with the whole FTX collapse, with Coachella having their NFTs on their platform, how can I put this? Consumer confidence is probably at an all-time low right now, right? So pushing the idea of NFTs as tickets might not be the marketing angle it was a year ago, is what I'm trying to say. NFT tickets offering a promising new way for event organizers to sell and distribute tickets while providing buyers with unique verifiable ownership. While there are challenges to overcome, the benefits of NFT tickets make them worth considering for both event organizers and ticket buyers. So food for thought for event organizers in the future. With the right time and technology put behind it, NFT ticketing could be the way moving forward, especially utilizing blockchain technology. What I'd like to go over really quickly is just a presentation that we did for a upcoming festival. So what we presented to them is ticket stubs as NFTs. This is more along the POAP angle where they would get a souvenir, right? But as I said before, this POAP can lead to real world utility, such as maybe 15% off a leading partner's clothing store, or 30% off another type of membership, right? So these things can scale out. The sale of NFT as artwork, be it photographs, like I mentioned before, it could be actual art, it could be music, not so much music because of the different licensing issues, but definitely photographs, and definitely collections of the artists in question outside of music could be possible. Membership VIP access, this is a very big one. It's already been done by the biggest music festivals out there as well. Coachella, I mentioned before, a tiered membership access system. Unfortunately, by the way these things are designed, if you have a membership, it generally is very, very exclusive. You want it to be exclusive, and with that comes an added premium, right? So sometimes it prices a lot of the average Joes like myself out of acquiring one of these NFTs. So what's going on in the Web3 NFT space? Oh, sorry, I realized that I wasn't showing you guys over here. So what's going on in the Web3 NFT space? So this is another big one here called Lollapalooza, a big festival. And one interesting thing that they did was they had a physical scavenger hunt to collect a different collectible at the event every day. And it would be a QR code, it would be a POAP. And at the end of the festival, I think collecting 3 or 4 of them would grant you something special, right? So this is once again utilizing blockchain technology, gamifying the event, so everyone, I mean, loves games. And then what you can also do with this approach is you can drive traffic, right? You can drive traffic at certain times and send people to different places, right, without them realizing that you are actually herding them to a different stage, right? So up to you guys to figure out what you can do from that. Another one that was pretty cool was Way Out West, where they minted the moment, which was featured on a big screen, and they selected 3 favorites to get a 3-day pass for next year's event, right? So you're also involving the community behind it. And as you mentioned, as you guys remember from last time, I told you that Web3 is all about community building and involving the community. The first step is always community. If you don't have a community, don't launch a product. It's not going to work. right? Especially not in Web3. So this is pretty cool where you can generate sales, you can mint the moment, which is effectively a photograph of the event, and the person who's minting it, well, you have an on-chain asset that is a memento that is with you forever because it's on-chain, right? And if you want, you can sell it. I don't see why you would sell it because you were there, or maybe someone later on 20 years down the line also attended the event but didn't mint at that moment and might want to buy your asset because they were also there as well, right? So a lot of different use cases that in the future that could come from this type of technology, right? So other music festivals and NFT experience over here, Coachella, Exit, Primavera, these are all mostly in the States, Tomorrowland being in Europe. Some pretty big names over here. Membership NFT holder benefits usually include early bird access, reserve tickets for upcoming events, raffle for merch, NFTs and whatnot, airdrop of NFTs, arts, video, behind the scene, loyalty memberships. So community engagement and loyalty. You have exclusive community for NFT holders, metaverse concerts. That's a pretty big one, especially of late. There's a few big ones that are going on in the Sandbox and Decentraland over the holidays, mini party meetups as well, right? So it's more about community engagement. Now over here, Clock and Flap, as you guys see, Clock and Flap is probably Hong Kong's largest local music festival. And some of their artists have already been adopting NFT technology, right? You've got FKJ, Tyson Yoshi, Lionel Chi. You can clearly tell that I'm a big fan of these artists. I don't really know who they are, but yeah, so you can see that they're out here already embracing this type of technology. I recently read that Steve Aoki is teaming up with Blau to go ahead and launch something. I forget what it is, but you guys can look it up. So Steve Aoki and Blau are big artists, DJs that have embraced NFTs both as collectibles, but also utilizing the technology behind it. So really quickly, because I know time is cutting short here. So what can be done, this would be the flow for a typical ticket stub NFT that we would do for, let's say, a client, for example. Gasless NFT claim. So attendees can claim the NFT through an email. No crypto is required, like I mentioned before, because of the dotted platform, really trying to simplify things. Then they'll have a section, a dedicated page where top billing is had during the event. So more of an information page where the user can now go on, they've minted their ticket, and then they can go ahead and see what's on the agenda at the festival. So utilizing the app for more purposes, right? So receive updates from the event. It could be future collaborations. It could be details about upcoming smaller events that this organization does as well. You can also have on the day utility. So for example, if you holding the ticket, holding a certain type of ticket or certain type of membership, you get 20-30% discount on the food or the drinks available at the location. This could be utility that would be coded within the app, the NFT, right? And personalized ads for later on for retargeting regarding the sponsors or the partners that this organization has, because all on-chain activity is public. We can go ahead and decipher, we can see what wallets hold what NFTs, and for these advertisers, like my example before with Adidas and Nike, can be deployed from that angle, right? So really a CRM, a one-stop solution for all parties that by utilizing NFTs as tickets. So right over here, like you see, like I said before, very seamless process. You can go ahead and find your ticket, view event details, claim the perks. So this is like, there's nothing new or special that we're trying to do. It looks very much like a Web2 based app, and that's by design. But the underlying technology is in fact using NFTs. It's using blockchain. It's using crypto as payment as well. So a little shill over here, Dotted is really trying to remove the complicated engineer aspects of Web3, which doesn't need to be there, and make it friendly so that someone like my mom could utilize it, right? And that pretty much brings us to the end of the presentation. All right. Are there any questions from anyone? Cool. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope I was able to help out in terms of additional knowledge. Please feel free to reach out to Nat later. I'm going to send her my copy of this presentation, and feel free to shoot me an email if you guys have any further questions. And that's it. Happy Friday, everyone, and happy holidays.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Belle. Okay, guys. Thank you.